Single dad discovers incredible secret behind twin girls' food requests. What he revealed will. The frying pan hissed violently, smoke rising with the scent of frozen chicken nuggets, competing against the muffled giggles echoing from the living room. Mike stood at the stove, a weight in his chest heavy with the anticipation of his daughter's birthdays. Chloe and Emma's whispers reached his ears, each mention of their mother's beloved recipes striking a nerve. "I wish we could have the chicken pot pie Mom made," Emma piped up, her small voice tinged with longing. "And the chocolate chip pancakes," Chloe added, dreams of mornings spent in flour-dusted embrace flickering before her eyes. It felt like a knife twisting in Mike's heart. His mind raced. Could he actually bring those dishes back to life? Could he, a mechanic who spent his days elbow-deep in car grease, pull off the culinary magic their mother had woven effortlessly? The thought sent waves of doubt crashing over him. He was drowning in invoices and bills. They barely scraped by as it was. What if making this day special hammered home the fact that he was simply not her? A lump caught in his throat, and he squeezed his eyes shut, trying to stay grounded amid swirling memories. Later that night, as he piled aging paperwork into a box, something tumbled out. A recipe book, worn and familiar. His fingers itched as he lifted it, memories flooding back like an unstoppable tide. The leather was cracked, the pages bent, but inside were his wife's neat handwriting and emotional annotations. Mike's pulse quickened as he flicked through pages of recipes, each one encapsulating moments long past. Each dish a celebration, a milestone, part of the fabric of their family. But they also felt like a curse, a reminder of what was lost, a challenge he feared he couldn't meet. Just as hope began to blossom, reality crashed back. Gathering the ingredients for the meals that filled these pages would stretch his finances to the breaking point. Could he afford even a single bite of nostalgia? His heart sank. However, the thought of looking into his daughter's eyes on their birthday, of their faces lighting up over memories of their mother, pushed him forward, igniting a spark. He made the resolve to scrape together everything he had left. But then doubt returned, gnawing at him deeper than before. What if this effort backfired? What if he made the food and they didn't connect to it the way they did when their mother was there to serve it? Before he could spiral into insecurity, a passing comment from a neighbor slipped into his thoughts. Their old friend now ran a successful restaurant and was hosting a food competition nearby. The seed planted a wild hope, a chance to showcase his skills, to bring in some necessary cash, while potentially earning respect in a field he knew so little about. But a darker fear shadowed him. Would chasing this dream mean selling out the intimate warmth of the kitchen he had always known? What did it mean if he ventured into that spotlight? Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. As he stood in the kitchen, the weight of fate rested heavily on his shoulders. Could he truly salvage these cherished recipes while confronting a world that seemed intent on moving forward without him? The aroma of familiarity filled the air, yet it intertwined with the scent of fear for the future. In one gripping moment, Mike realized he didn't just need to bake to honor his wife's legacy. He needed to rediscover himself in their kitchen, a heart-soaring mission outweighed by uncertainty. The battle lines were drawn. Would he sink or swim in this whirlwind of love, nostalgia, and fear? Just then, the clock chimed, reminding him of the imminent birthdays, while the recipe book lay open, bearing witness to the choices that lay ahead. Morning sunlight poured through the kitchen window, casting a warm glow over the recipe book that lay open on the counter. Mike sighed, running his fingers over the pages, the words suffused with memories. Each recipe demanded attention, needing him to translate reminiscences into tangible meals.
The upcoming cook-off felt monumental, yet he questioned if it was a sustainable venture or an impulsive leap into the unknown. He took a step back from the countertop, grappling with inner turmoil. What if his attempt to recreate a piece of his wife's spirit spiraled out of control? The competition loomed like a specter, promising a spotlight that terrified him, yet pulling at his ambitions. He began to wonder if showcasing his cooking might not only honor her memory, but also catalyze a hidden facet of himself blossoming beneath the grief. His heart pounded as he carefully considered his next move. Gathering ingredients for one dish purposely began to feel less like a financial strain and more like an investment in his and his daughter's happiness. He decided he could begin with the chocolate chip pancakes, the very dish that sparked joyous mornings in their past. Would the smile on his daughter's faces while eating that dish potentially bridge the chasm of loss they'd been walking? Mike rummaged through the pantry, pulling out flour, sugar, and baking powder. Each item a verification of his resolve to make this more than a fleeting moment. Even as whipped cream and fresh strawberries danced in his mind, a shadow of hesitation lingered. Could he execute a recipe that encapsulated not merely sustenance, but love? He began to mix the ingredients, finding a rhythm. The sound of the whisk against the bowl became a mantra, reciting memories of laughter and warmth. Heat radiated from the stove, illuminating his faded culinary self. As he poured batter onto the griddle, the golden brown circles formed, rhythmically flipping like an artist mastering his brushstrokes for the first time. Then suddenly, it struck him. Cooking was not just about recreating a dish, it was about embracing vulnerability. He could convert his hesitation into creativity, drawing from the revelations his wife's recipes elicited. Could this process of cooking translate into a career path? The thought lit a spark deep within. Perhaps the competition was not merely about winning, but about shaping himself into something new, something capable. As he piled the pancakes high on a plate, he felt a flicker of confidence. Fighting back doubt, Mike resolved to enter the competition, not to prove himself, but rather to uncover what lay within. He could feel his pulse quicken at the thought of potential interactions with other aspiring chefs. Perhaps the experience would reveal more opportunities. Perhaps let him connect with people who shared in the creative chaos of the kitchen. Yet as excitement danced through him, storms of doubt began to swell again. The fear of failure loomed larger and more formidable. What if this journey did not yield success? What if pursuing this passion risked dimming the memories of his wife's cooking, making it seem like a mere shadow of what once was? In that moment, a loud knock interrupted his reverie, startling him from his thoughts. His exterior demeanor faltered, but he knew he had to face whoever was on the other side. He took a deep breath, reminding himself that every challenge requires confronting fears. Would this knock signify another moment of unexpected opportunity, or a reminder of the struggles he was trying to escape? With renewed determination, he moved toward the door, uncertainty colliding with ambition. What awaited him could either strengthen the burgeoning clarity within or dissolve it entirely. As he reached for the doorknob, he knew one thing for certain: the path to self-discovery would not be straightforward. No matter the outcome, Mike was ready to embrace it. The moment of truth was finally upon him. Mike opened the door, expecting the usual faces of neighbors or an unexpected delivery. Instead, he was met by the intense gaze of a woman he had never encountered before. She stood confidently, her long curly hair framing a radiant smile that held both warmth and curiosity. In her hand, she clutched a clipboard adorned with colorful notes and an array of handwritten menus. "Hi, I'm Hannah. I heard about the cook-off you're entering and wanted to chat," she exclaimed, her voice a mixture of enthusiasm and professionalism. The notion of casual conversation about food should have lightened Mike's worries, yet he felt an unfamiliar weight in his chest. Uncertainty gripped him as he stepped aside, allowing Hannah to
enter the kitchen with unabashed familiarity, surveying the scene like a judge appraising a contestant's setup. "Wow, I love the energy in here," she said, eyeing the half-completed stack of pancakes. "Did you bake these?" "Actually, they're just pancakes. They're a family recipe," he replied, feeling a twinge of embarrassment at the simplicity of dish. Simple and delicious is sometimes the best combination. Her eyes sparkled with sincerity. "I'm a food blogger, and I'm in the area gathering stories for my next feature. Your journey sounds inspiring." As they settled around the kitchen table, Mike found himself captivated by her charisma. She had a way of unearthing hidden thoughts. "Why the cook-off, Mike?" she asked, her purple pen poised over the clipboard. He struggled with how to articulate his motivations. His intent was layered under remnants of grief and yearning, yet her gaze encouraged him to speak freely. "I've been trying to connect with my daughters, and maybe with a side of myself that's been lost," he confessed, the words tumbling out like flour from a broken bag. Hannah nodded thoughtfully. "That's a powerful reason," she remarked, her attention unwavering. "Cooking with them could build bridges to new memories together. What do they think about your plans?" Their unfiltered conversation gave him renewed clarity. Suddenly, he had a daydream of his daughters gathering around him, each encouraging word weaving together the fabric of their memories into something more vivid and beautiful than mere reminiscence. They're excited, I think. It's new. They haven't had much cooking time since... He let the words drop, a weight pressing down on his chest. "Since their mom passed?" Hannah finished gently. He nodded, a lump forming in his throat. The silence that followed was palpable, yet it felt like a necessary release. He could feel Hannah's empathy wrap around him, softening the sting of exposure. "That's where your strength lies," she said thoughtfully. "Honoring her in your cooking and evolving as a father while doing it is a journey worth telling. Entering the competition signifies more than just food. It symbolizes healing, growth, and hope." Her support ignited something within him. Her enthusiasm cracked the protective shell he had been holding tightly. "What if I could capture that story and reach other dads who feel as lost deep down as I do?" he pondered aloud. "Yes," Hannah exclaimed, her passion palpable. "Why not share your recipes, your process? Every cook-off has a spirit, and you can infuse yours with love and hope." In that moment, he understood. This was not just about pancakes, nor just a competition. It was a chance for personal development, and the platform he did not know he craved. But uncertainty slithered back into his mind. Was he prepared to lay bare his vulnerabilities? What if the final product wasn't enough? The thought of exposing his struggle to others was daunting. He looked at her and wrestled with the swirling doubts. "Mike, at the end of the day, the food doesn't have to be perfect. What matters is the connection you forge through it," she reassured him. There was something potent in her words, yet the fear loomed large. A fear of showing too much, of falling short. As their conversation deepened and expanded, Mike found himself standing at the intersection of vulnerability and courage, eager yet hesitant to dive into the unknown. The murmurs of self-doubt began intermingling with glimmers of fresh determination, weaving a tapestry of possibilities. "That sounds really empowering," he finally acknowledged. "Then let's do it," she breathed. "Let's turn this passion into something that could uplift you and your whole family. What do you say?" A familiar apprehension reverberated within him, clashing with an unexpected influx of hope. But even as a flutter of possibility began to take root, a nagging question remained. Would he find the courage needed to traverse this new landscape of vulnerability? Or would fear pull him back into the shadows once again? He could feel the weight of the coming decision pressing down upon him. The moment of truth was nearing again, and this time it came with stakes that felt monumental. Would he embrace the journey ahead, or retreat from the budding flames of hope ignited by Hannah's encouragement? As he mulled over the answers that eluded him, another knock echoed beyond the door, a tangible reminder of the challenges awaiting him.
He turned, heart racing once more. What more tests would confront him today? Mike's heart pounded as he approached the door, curiosity and anxiety warring within him. Who could it be this time? He hesitated, glancing at Hannah, whose steady smile gave him a sense of groundedness. She had invigorated his spirit, and he didn't want to let those feelings dissipate. When he finally opened the door, he was met with another surprise. A delivery man holding a large basket filled with fresh produce. "Delivery for Mike Collins," he announced, his eyes scanning the kitchen as Mike signed the receipt. Inside the basket, an explosion of colors awaited. Ripe tomatoes, fragrant basil, and a group of assorted peppers. It was enough to ignite a fresh wave of inspiration within him. "Wow, those look incredible," Hannah exclaimed, stepping closer to inspect the contents. "Yeah, I signed up for a local CSA," Mike replied, an unexpected thrill coursing through him at the thought of working with high-quality ingredients. They promised fresh seasonal produce weekly. Perfect for getting creative in the kitchen. Cooking with fresh ingredients is a direct path to flavor, Hannah said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Why not include the girls? This could be a wonderful way for them to learn about using quality ingredients. The idea struck him fiercely at that moment. He no longer wanted this cook-off to merely be about reconnecting with his daughters. He wanted it to be an avenue for them to embrace the joy of cooking together. Cooking wasn't just about the end result. It was about the camaraderie, the laughter, and warmth that filled the conversation.
Space as they created meals side by side. Mike's thoughts swirled in a whirlwind of excitement. What if I involved them in meal planning too? They could help choose what to make every week. We could explore different cuisines, let them voice their preferences. Absolutely! Involving them will not only teach them valuable skills, but help forge deeper connections as you integrate cooking into your family ritual, Hannah encouraged, her support bolstering his ideas. He felt a warmth radiate from her words, and in that moment, a revelation emerged. Cooking could become not just a bridge to his daughters, but a foundation for a new family tradition. Perhaps he could share this newfound journey on his burgeoning platform, weaving those narratives of their growth along with the flavorful stories of food. As he unpacked the basket, a sudden thought struck him, a tinge of fear at the prospect of failing to meet his own expectations. What if his daughters didn't enjoy the process? What if their different tastes clashed in the kitchen? Would he lose their interest if his cooking was less than perfect? "Mike," Hannah said gently, appear as though she sensed his inner turmoil. "Remember, the pursuit of perfection can sometimes overshadow the joy of the experience. Let their voices guide you. Allow them the freedom to express their tastes. That exploration can be just as delightful as the final dish." Taking a deep breath, he nodded. The hesitation began to subside as he envisioned his daughters gathering excitedly to select what they'd create each week. Letting go of the need to have everything calculated and curated allowed a spark of excitement to flourish within him. This process would be as much about reliving precious memories of their last moments with their mother as it was about creating fresh ones. Feeling invigorated, Mike turned back to the counter, his heart racing with possibilities. "Let's plan our first family meal. They might enjoy something hearty and comforting," he suggested, recalling a savory one-pot dish his late wife had mastered. As he began jotting down ideas, the vibrant energy in the kitchen radiated between them. He felt it was shifting, evolving. Suddenly, the familiar cadence of his daughter's laughter echoed through the home. They burst through the door, having returned from the park with energetic chatter about their day. Immediately, Mike's confidence faltered. He hesitated, staring at the list of ideas he had just conceived as they closed in around him, brimming with curiosity about what their dad was plotting. Would this be just another half-hearted attempt that would dwindle like so many before? "Hey Dad, what's cooking?" his younger daughter, Lily, asked, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. He faced them, a lump swelling in his throat. Would they embrace this newfound adventure together, or would he risk exposing yet another fragment of their family dynamic to the unpredictable chaos of emotions?
Hang on, would sharing an imperfect culinary experience actually give them the connection he sought, or would he inadvertently force his expectations onto them once more? "Girls," he began, as he looked at their inquisitive faces, feeling the weight of vulnerability settle onto his shoulders. "I want to change things up with dinner. How do you feel about spending some time cooking together?" The pause that followed felt like an eternity, laced with suspense. The air charged with possibility, but also uncertainty. Would they step forward into the unknown with him, or retreat back into the comforts of the familiar? The moment of truth hung in the air, urging him to find out if their culinary exploration would solidify their bond or unravel into more unspoken fears. Mike's pulse quickened as he studied his daughter's expressions, the playful light in their eyes battling with an underlying caution. Their childhood exuberance was unmistakably present, but a flicker of uncertainty lingered, perhaps a reflection of their previous experiences together. This would either initiate a new chapter in their relationship or expose deeper fissures that still lay in the shadows. "Can we cook like we used to with Mom?" Lily's voice broke the silence, soft yet filled with a delicate vulnerability that tugged at Mike's heart. "I miss that." The sincerity of her question pierced through Mike's ambivalence. Memories of sticky hands, laughter, and familial warmth rushed back, each one a stark reminder of what they had lost. He felt a sharp pang of longing mixed with hope. "Yes, absolutely," he replied, craving the thumbprint of joy that had once been such a significant part of their lives. His elder daughter, Emma, chipped in with a burst of enthusiasm. "Can we make those cheesy quesadillas and that weird spicy salsa you always say was your secret?" "Yes, but we're making it together this time," Mike declared, newfound determination lacing his words. The idea of collaborating transformed his fear into excitement. Perhaps this was the moment to face potential discomfort head-on and redefine their narrative as a family. As he gathered ingredients, a sense of purpose fueled his actions. He was no longer just a father trying to fill the void left by circumstance. He was becoming a facilitator of shared experience, a guide through this culinary exploration, and perhaps a healer of their collective heart. His daughters chimed in, choosing ingredients from the colorful basket that had arrived earlier. And when Lily approached with a handful of vibrant purple peppers, Mike couldn't help but smile. "Those might be a little too bold for our first meal," he chuckled, attempting to hide his nervousness, hoping to encourage her adventurous spirit rather than to stifle it. "Let's give them a shot," Emma countered, her confidence rising. It was a small moment, but for Mike, it represented the merging of their pasts with a promising future. The squabbles they had around the kitchen table while cooking with their mother echoed in his mind. He could almost hear her laugh and see the way her eyes crinkled with joy every time they fought over which toppings to add. "Okay, but if we're going bold, we have to balance it out. What about some creamy avocado?" he suggested, partially to appease their fatherly instincts and partially to guide their budding creativity. As they prepped and chopped, Mike noticed how their dialogue shifted from cautious inquiries about whether to add salt to playful debates over who could blend the salsa best. They were alive, awake in a way he hadn't seen in a long time. Each task unfolded layers of communication, trust and fear, freedom and obligation mingled seamlessly. With every slice of pepper and dash of spice, they were not just creating a meal, they were infusing their kitchen with laughter and memories that revved the engine of familial love. The rhythm of the night took shape, playful banter weaving into the fabric of their cooking. The anticipated outcome no longer weighed heavier than the process of creating something together. For every imperfect movement, a lesson emerged, finding a way around hurdles without retreating into doubt. But as they gathered around the table, laden with their culinary triumph and an array of mismatched plates, Mike felt a stirring anxiety rise within. What if this was merely a one-time thing? Would their resolve hold with a stranger's opinion of eating their creations? "Hey Dad," Emma said with a mouthful of quesadilla, "this is really good. We should do it again." Her words, paired with the warmth in her eyes, shone like a beacon of reassurance. But what if seeking connection through food became a crutch? Could he perpetuate the notion that family was merely about shared meals? "Definitely," he admitted, all while his mind churned with thoughts about the next steps. "How about this? We can set a date each week for a family cook-off. Each of us takes turns picking the dish." Their faces lit up as they imagined their favorite meals evolving into this new tradition. But even as excitement filled the air, Mike sensed an unshakable unsteadiness. Could he truly disentangle his fears and ensure this blossoming ritual stood with resilience? As they continued plucking away at their food with laughter ringing throughout the dining room, he scribbled notes for upcoming meals alongside ideas for exploring each week. Yet an undeniable fear crept beneath the thrill. Would the familiarity of joy hold, or would each subsequent meal lay bare another piece of their brokenness? In that moment, Mike understood he might not just be teaching them how to cook, but also how to navigate life's imperfections side by side. A new tradition was forming, but the road ahead was still cloaked in uncertainty. As silence washed over him, deep thoughts lingered like the tempting aroma of sautéing vegetables. Would this newfound endeavor evolve into something substantial, or would it reveal deeper fractures that could only be exposed through shared vulnerability? Mike inhaled sharply, the weight of the unknown looming large as the clanking of utensils filled the air fat with promise. He realized that, despite the journey's unpredictability, they were finally a path worth exploring together. Just then, as the dinner wound down and his mind stirred with looming questions and exciting possibilities, Lily suddenly asked, "What is your favorite dish, Dad? What do you want us to cook next?" The room felt charged, a question heavy with implications. Would his response create the foundation they needed, or unravel all they had worked to rebuild? The question hung in the air like the scent of spices, thick with anticipation. Mike's heart raced. In that moment, it felt as though all eyes were on him, challenging him to reveal not just a recipe, but an essential part of himself. He closed his eyes for a brief second, summoning the courage needed to respond. "Okay," he began, feeling the warmth of the kitchen wrap around him like a comforting embrace. "If I had to pick, I think maybe my mom's classic spaghetti and meatballs." A collective gasp erupted from his daughters, their enthusiasm palpable. Lily bounced on her chair, her earlier hesitance melted away. "Can we really make that? I've always wanted to try it." Emma chimed in, "I heard you talk about how you helped your mom make those on Sundays. Is it hard?" The question sliced through Mike's thoughts. He couldn't help but wonder if sharing this memory would uncover deeper truths about himself that he wasn't ready to face. Could they handle the emotional weight of this dish? Cooking spaghetti wasn't just about the food. It was etched in the remnants of nostalgia and loss, a bittersweet reminder of family gatherings that had slipped away like grains of sand. "It's not hard at all," he replied, attempting to maintain his composure. "It's about tradition. We can add our own spin to it, like you did tonight." His voice cracked slightly, revealing lingering pain. But he moved forward, aware that in the act of sharing, he was also empowering his daughters to confront their emotions as he had to confront his. "What if we wrote our own version of the recipe?" Emma suggested, eyes sparkling with creativity. "We can blend it with our favorite things." Mike's mind raced as he considered the potential for this dish to be more than just a meal. It could be an avenue for healing, or perhaps a spark for deeper revelations about their lives moving forward. "That's a fantastic idea, Emma. We could add bell peppers, and," he paused, hopeful, "we could experiment with herbs. I remember how your mother loved basil and oregano. Incorporating our favorites will make this ours." In that moment, something shifted. A burden of their shared past began to lighten as the girls offered their own enhancements, augmenting his suggestion with excitement. This was more than a cooking lesson. It was a collaborative project that transformed his family's lore into something fresh and eager for rebirth. As they brainstormed, Mike felt a lightness emerge, creeping in on the edges of his anxiety. Perhaps this act of building together could stitch the
fabric of their broken family in a new pattern of connection. In this kitchen space, they were not merely preserving a legacy, they were creating new traditions while wielding knives and love side by side. But with each passing moment, a nagging anxiety undercut this burgeoning joy. Was he simply putting a happy face on pain? Could these meals really form a foundation for their communication? Or would Mike ever be brave enough to address the underlying void of their mother's absence? He mulled over the idea that maybe they needed to explore conceptual boundaries and unveil emotions, even ones that felt messy. As the evening drew to a close, Mike felt an urging pull to set the next meeting with his daughters. It was crucial. They had ignited something vital, a thirst for collaboration that didn't solely rely on shared meals, but also called for open dialogues. "All right then," Mike exclaimed, clapping his hands together to build momentum. "Let's pick a day for our spaghetti experiment. How about next Saturday? We'll start the week with planning and I'll gather all the ingredients." "Deal," Lily chimed, her enthusiasm infectious. Emma shared a conspiratorial glance with her sister, teasing ideas that sparked bright laughter among them, breathing joy and unpredictability into the air. But as Mike wiped the surfaces and cleared away remnants of their meal, he struggled with a gnawing realization, fear braided into excitement. Would next week's cooking session merely highlight the fractures they had skirted around all too long? Was genuine connection forged over spaghetti enough to bridge the gap between their laughter and unspoken grief? He took a deep breath, the weight of their shared history simmering just below the surface. There was potential for something real, something that could change their narrative entirely, but they would still have to confront the truths that flavor life. The kitchen felt both ripe with possibility and dense with uncertainty. As he glanced at his daughters, two vibrant souls full of promise, Mike knew they were about to plunge into much more than a cooking class. They were preparing to stir a pot of memories, bonds, and revelations, and the choices they made would compel him to face more than just recipes. The moment was fragile, the stakes high, and before he could fully settle into his thoughts, Lily burst forth with a tentative question that sent a chill through him. "And Dad, what did you love most about cooking with Mom?" The air grew thick with anticipation, and Mike realized the next few steps were not just about the meals, but about confronting what lay beneath, a journey that hinged on his willingness to be vulnerable. Would he unravel in front of them, or rise to a challenge? The weight of Lily's question lingered in the air like the aroma of garlic and tomatoes simmering on the stove. Mike felt his throat tighten, a knot of grief forming as he considered how to navigate this moment. Here he was, ready to engage in a cooking project, yet suddenly thrown into an emotional flashback, one he desperately tried to avoid. "What I loved most?" he repeated, letting it roll around in his mind. It was a simple question, but it required him to reach deep, a place he had just begun to excavate. He wanted to share with his daughters, but he feared what would emerge. Cooking with your mom was an event, like a holiday. There was joy, even in the chaos, he managed, forcing a small smile. Memories rushed forth. Emma was a toddler, perched on her mother's hip. A mess of flour dusted over their kitchen as they laughed over spilled ingredients. The nostalgia coiled around his heart, tightening. "But Dad," Emma leaned in, a mix of curiosity and concern overshadowing her excitement. "What did you love about her cooking?" "I loved how she poured herself into every meal. It wasn't just about the food, it was about the care. Every meal was a story, you know?" Mike's voice grew steadier, the memories lighting a fire within him.
He remembered the smiles, the laughter that danced amidst the clinks of pots and pans. Lily exclaimed, "Then we should tell our own story with the spaghetti, cook it like she would have." The idea surged in Mike's chest like a warmth filling a sturdy pot, allowing him to feel more tethered to this moment. They could transcend grief and step into celebration together. "Yeah, we could tell our story and make it our own," he nodded, the weight over his heart slightly lifted. But as they planned their dish, Mike couldn't ignore the flickers of doubt. Was he ready to not only share what cooking meant to him, but also explore why he had kept these memories locked away? Perhaps, he thought, as a surge of determination settled over him, revealing the fullness of his experience might break down barriers. "I think it will be a journey for all of us," he said, catching his daughter's attention. "And I want to encourage you both to ask questions, even the tough ones. There's strength in openness." They nodded, their eagerness transforming the moment into hopeful commitment. In planning their meal, they would also be delving into forgotten narratives, stories hidden in layers of grief and grief's bittersweet companions. As Saturday crept closer, Mike began to see the spaghetti not as a mere meal, but as a vessel for connection, as if cooking it together was a tangible journey toward reclaiming their lost identity. The garlic and onion would not just flavor their dish. These basic ingredients would ground their experience, providing a platform for dialogue he desperately wished to foster. But as the anticipation built, so did an aching sense of apprehension. What if dredging up emotions led to a fracture he couldn't mend? Could they really embrace pain in pursuit of healing? That uncertainty loomed large, creeping into each day leading up to their culinary adventure. In the days that followed, Mike's thoughts spiraled. He spent late nights mulling over precisely how to open up without overwhelming them. Would he express the raw, jagged corners of grief, or focus on nostalgia's softer edges? Each late-night session further ignited the inner conflict. Was he brave enough to reshape their defined legacy into something pliable, igniting a vital emotional exchange? Then, an unexpected thought struck him, igniting a flicker of hope amidst the cauldron of doubt. "What if," he whispered to himself, "my willingness to embrace this could be the key?" As the first lights of Saturday dawned, Mike stood in front of the stove determined to take that key. Armed with his mother's recipe tucked safely in the pocket of his apron, he felt more prepared than ever. It was time to stoke the flames of their spirit and create a dish that transcended just food. It would be a synthesis of love, grief, and rebirth. He remembered Lily's question circulating in his mind like an insistent shadow. What did he love most about cooking with Mom? The answer intertwined with his daughters, framing a pivot point in their narrative. This was not merely about pasta, it was about facing the heart of their story. Yet that answer still remained blurred. And as the sun began to rise, reflecting hues of gold across their kitchen, a heavy truth loomed. He realized the crux of his journey was just beginning. How do you unravel years of silence while nurturing two eager hearts? Just then, an unexpected message pinged on his phone, drawing his attention. It was a photograph from an old family gathering, a stark reminder of a time when everything felt complete. With each beat of his heart, the weight of what lay ahead pressed down upon him. Would this upcoming cooking session finally unravel the depths of their shared sorrow, or would it turn into a confrontation too raw to bear? As he gazed at the photo, Mike braced himself, preparing not just for a meal, but for the undeniable truth he had skirted around for far too long. The sun had fully risen, spilling light into the kitchen, illuminating the old wooden table and the flour-covered surface where they would be working. As he gazed around the once familiar space, Mike felt an odd mix of nostalgia and anxiety. This was not just another weekend, it was a pivotal moment, a chance to explore uncharted waters of their family dynamic. "Okay, ladies, are we ready to cook some spaghetti?" Mike called, attempting to inject enthusiasm into his voice. The girls bounded into the kitchen, eyes sparkling with a mix of excitement and apprehension. Their presence felt like an anchor, but the trepidation within him churned. Would he truly be able to guide them through the emotional terrain that lay ahead? In an effort to fill the silence that threatened to bubble up, he explained each step of the recipe, recalling minor details buried in his memory. First, we start with the garlic. It's the heart of any
Great Italian dish, he remarked, his voice steady yet filled with unsaid words. Lily clutched a bulb of garlic. Did Mom teach you how to chop it? A sudden wave of emotion caught Mike off guard. For a moment, he could feel her there, guiding his hands, laughing at his ineptitude. Yes, she had taught him. She had taught him to add a pinch of fun among the spices, the way they could reduce tension into laughter with just a silly joke. Should he share that memory now? Yeah, she did, Mike replied, his voice softer. She showed me that cooking together was the best way to bond. Then let's bond, Emma exclaimed, enthusiasm sparking from her words. How could he turn this into a time of growth without succumbing to the weight of remembrance? As the garlic sizzled in the pan, Mike felt emboldened, but the underlying current of anxiety still tugged at him. Each slice of the onion, each stir of the pot, felt like it was unearthing layers of grief he'd avoided. He could almost hear the echoes of laughter that filled those walls once upon a time. "Dad, do you think we're doing it right?" Lily asked, eyeing the bubbling pot with uncertainty. "Absolutely," he said, though inside he questioned every aspect of this challenge. "It's about the journey, not just the end result. Each meal we cook tells our story." The statement hung in the air as they added the crushed tomatoes and stirred, the aroma intensifying. Mike found himself on the precipice of sincerity and vulnerability. What if they weren't just sharing a meal, but confronting a legacy that had been untouched? The pain, the joy, and everything in between. As they continued cooking, he sensed the moment approaching, the moment to share the depths of his heart that had been cocooned for so long. But what if that revelation cracked the fragile optimism hovering in the air? "Dad," Emma broke his reverie, glancing at him with wide eyes. "What was it like when you cooked with Mom?" The question struck him, more direct than any that had come before. The kitchen felt alive with anticipation, each ingredient an invitation to explore his fraught memories. Mike took a breath, feeling the weight of his girl's gazes upon him. "It was magical," he began, words tumbling out amidst the swirling aromas. "She would always make it an experience, a way to teach love. When I cook now, I try to capture that." Emma nodded, understanding dawning in her eyes. "Can we do that too?" "Yes," he managed, heart pounding. "And that's why we're here today, to pour our hearts out. Cooking could be our way of honoring her." They looked at him, uncertainty replaced by determination. Together they turned back to the pot, but Mike's mind was reeling, the floodgates threatening to open. Did they realize the depth of what that could mean? He needed to navigate this carefully. One misstep could lead them spiraling into wells of sorrow. Just as he was about to share more, Lily blurted, "Let's add a secret ingredient, like her." The enthusiasm in her voice was infectious, slicing through the tension like a finely sharpened knife. "What do you mean?" Her question echoed in Mike's mind, and a revelation sparked. Perhaps there were ways to honor the past without fully reliving it. He could teach them to create their own culinary language, one that included but did not hinge only on sorrow. But as Mike pondered this new pathway, he realized there was still an unspoken truth waiting. Was he prepared not just to embrace the warmth of memory, but also the jagged edges? Just then, the simmering sauce received a last splash of olive oil, sending steamy aromas wafting before them. Mike felt the moment teetering on the edge of revelation, and a knot of urgency gripped his heart. How much longer could he delay the inevitable? The weight of the unshared stories pooled in his throat like unturned soil, waiting for the right conditions to germinate.
Soon, it would all come to light. Would it be enough to transform their sorrow into strength? As the dish neared completion, Mike sensed that the answers he sought and those his daughters desperately craved were within reach. Yet, as he opened his mouth to speak, his phone buzzed again, this time with a message that could alter everything. Would this new revelation finally give him the courage to bridge the emotional divide, or would it amplify the cracks he's been trying to mend? The phone buzzed loudly against the worn table, disrupting the moment just when Mike felt he could break through the dense fog of his heart. His daughters paused, eyes darting to the phone and then back to him. The urgency in their gazes pierced through his resolve. They were hanging on his next words, and he felt the mounting pressure. "Just 1 second," he murmured, his throat tightening as he glanced down at the screen. The message was from a family member, one he hadn't spoken to since the funeral. They were reaching out. The prospect of reconnecting felt like a double-edged sword, exacerbating the tensions he was trying to navigate in his own home. But could this be the opening he needed to step into the raw honesty he had long avoided? "Dad," Emma urged, pulling him back to the moment, "are we adding our secret ingredient?" He hesitated, the silence stretching unbearably. "Right, yes," he breathed out, fighting the urge to not check the message again. The message was from a family member, one he hadn't spoken to since the funeral. They were reaching out. The prospect of reconnecting felt like a double-edged sword, exacerbating the tensions he was trying to navigate in his own home. But could this be the opening he needed to step into the raw honesty he had long avoided? "Dad," Emma urged, pulling him back to the moment, "are we adding our secret ingredient?" He hesitated, the silence stretching unbearably. "Right, yes," he breathed out, fighting the urge to not check the message again. The message was from a family member, one he hadn't spoken to since the funeral. They were reaching out. The prospect of reconnecting felt like a double-edged sword, exacerbating the tensions he was trying to navigate in his own home. But could this be the opening he needed to step into the raw honesty he had long avoided? "Dad," Emma urged, pulling him back to the moment, "are we adding our secret ingredient?" He hesitated, the silence stretching unbearably. "Right, yes," he breathed out, fighting the urge to not check the message again. "Let's think of something that reminds us of Mom." But even as he said it, doubt seeped into his mind. Could he truly create something that honored her without succumbing to grief's heavy embrace? "Let's make it spicy," Lily piped up excitedly before turning to her sister. "Remember how she always said life needed a kick?" Their laughter felt like a balm, a warmth passing through the kitchen. Yet even in their joy, Mike was conscious of the question.
Lurking in the backdrop of their banter, how would he react if the past came rushing back with unwelcome intensity? What if the attempt at creating something new revealed wounds that were still too raw to touch? "All right then, let's make it spicy," Mike replied, his voice carrying more confidence than he felt. "I think we have some red pepper flakes. They can be our special ingredient." The girls giggled as they rushed to find the spice, and suddenly the air in the kitchen shifted. What had started as a reflective moment, layered with apprehension, blossomed into a frenzy of excitement, simmering with the possibility of renewal. Maybe he could pave the way for them to connect with their lost mother without drowning in grief. Yet as they mixed the flakes into the pot, Mike felt the anxiety swell again. Would the heat enhance their dish just as they hoped? Or would it overwhelm, much like their memories? He needed to rediscover not just who he was as a father, but also how to redefine their family by forging a new path, one where Melanie's essence became part of their journey without charting them back to sorrow. With each stir, though, he sensed a change within himself. Cooking was transforming into something deeper, a healing ritual rather than just a mere dinner preparation. He observed Emma's fearless addition of peppers, an echo of Melanie's own boldness in the kitchen. It sparked a flicker inside him, a realization of shared resilience.
Sometimes it's okay to feel sad, he dared to say, voicing thoughts he had sidestepped too many times before. But we can also create joy, like we're doing now. Both girls nodded, their faces full of determination. It was a revelation that struck a chord. Here they were, not obscured by the past, but actively crafting the narrative of their future. Yet, still lingering was the possibility of the message left unread. The thought gnawed at him. But before he could dwell on that further, Emma blurted out, "What do we do if it's too spicy?" The room erupted with laughter, the tension lifting as they envisioned a plan for saving the dish. Mike found it fascinating how laughter could emerge from the simplest conversations. Yet the gratitude he felt came sharply into focus. He remembered waking up to chaotic mornings filled with laughter, chaos, and love. His gaze flickered toward the untouched message, recognizing that in order to truly nurture this new dynamic, he had to be unafraid of confronting the hurt. But was he truly ready for a conversation that would plunge into uncharted depths? Just then, the timer beeped, signaling they were ready to taste their creation. As he served their dish, he felt a strange, exhilarating mix of fear and hope. "Now, this is the moment of truth," he announced, a sense of authority enveloping him. Together, they raised their forks in toast to not just the meal, but to their collective journey, ready to face whatever flavors awaited them. However, as they took the first bite, the doorbell rang unexpectedly, freezing them in place. Mike's heart raced. Could this surprise visitor change everything they had just begun to build? Or could it be the breakthrough he needed to confront his lingering doubts? The moment had arrived, and Mike was about to discover just how deeply intertwined his past and present truly were. Mike took a moment to compose himself. The doorbell resonated in the stillness that now surrounded their half-eaten spaghetti. He could feel his daughter's eyes on him, each waiting with bated breath for his next move, their excitement a shimmering thread in the air. "Stay here," he said gently, brushing past the lingering warmth of their shared laughter and headed towards the door. He hesitated outside, his mind racing through the possibilities of who might be on the other side. Was this the family member reaching out to connect, or simply a distraction from the emotions he'd finally dared to confront? Slowly, he opened the door, and the sight that greeted him was unexpected. A neighbor he had barely spoken to before, but who had nevertheless observed his journey from a distance. The man stood there with a hearty smile and a wrapped package in his hand. "Hey Mike, I heard you were hosting a cook-off for your daughters. I wanted to drop off a little something to help you. It's a family spice blend that has been in my family for generations," he said enthusiastically, presenting the package with a flourish. The gesture swept over Mike like a tidal wave of warmth, transforming the moment into something profoundly meaningful. "Thank you," Mike replied, the gratitude sweeping across his heart. "I really appreciate it. Cooking can be a powerful way to bond, you know. We all have our stories attached to it," the man shared, a knowing smile dancing across his lips. "You're doing something special." The encouragement rang out like a beacon, recharging Mike with new resolve. He said goodbye and closed the door, the package clutched tightly in his hands. Walking back to the table, the aroma of spaghetti intertwined with anticipation. "Who was it?" Emma asked, eyes wide with curiosity. "Just a neighbor," Mike replied with a newfound lightness. "He brought us something to enhance our dish." As he placed the spices on the table, he felt an irresistible urge to share what had happened. "You know, we often think of food as just sustenance, but maybe today is about more than just dinner. It's about connection." Lily piped up, "Like how Mom used to connect with everyone when she cooked, I want our spaghetti to connect us too." "Exactly," Mike reached for the package. "This is a family spice blend, a gift, just like what we're learning here today. Family, laughter, and creativity are the essence of our meal and our lives." He felt the shift in the room, a combination of warmth and resolve wrapping around them like a blanket, shielding them against the lingering sorrow they'd been navigating together. Mike poured a dash of the spice blend into the sauce, and the aroma intensified, bringing everyone closer. "Let's taste it," Emma declared, filling her plate with the vibrant pasta. They all took forks, and the three of them shared the first taste, a crescendo of flavors that resonated with the essence of tradition and the promise of new memories. With every chew, the familiar taste mingled with new dimensions of flavor. Each bite a testament to their shared journey. Mike felt an exhilarating rush. "This is amazing," Lily squeaked, her joy palpable. "Let's keep it as our secret family recipe," Emma added, her enthusiasm igniting something powerful within Mike. He could hardly believe it. His daughters were no longer afraid to embrace their memories or to create new affiliations. In that small act of adding spices, he felt the healing in progress. As they finished their meal, laughter echoed in the room, a sound he had almost forgotten but longed for deeply. Each shared story wrapped around the narrative they were building together, an embrace of growth and healing. "Dad," Emma spoke up as they cleaned the table, "can we make our family cooking project official, like a real cookbook?" Mike's heart swelled at her idea. It encapsulated everything he had hoped to create. A blend of their shared past with the future they were now building together. "I love it! We can write down each recipe, sharing not just our cooking secrets, but our stories too," he replied, excitement bubbling up. They made plans for family cooking nights, a renewal of traditions, ensuring they not only honored their mother's legacy, but also embraced their evolving family dynamic. This is just the beginning, Mike thought, the weight of melancholy lifting as hope filled the spaces once consumed with doubt. For the first time since his wife's passing, he envisioned their home growing louder with love, dialogue, and laughter through the act of cooking together. With the determination to navigate every slice and sprinkle with honesty, Mike felt empowered more than ever. As they continued their culinary journeys, he realized that vulnerability could lead to connection, and through connection, they could transform their grief into something profoundly beautiful. The box of memories, laughter, and skills was waiting to be unearthed, and for the first time, Mike was ready to embrace it, spices and all. There in their little kitchen, a new tradition blossomed, a testament to the power of food to heal wounds, rewrite narratives, and redefine what family could truly mean. It was time they stepped fully into their discovery. No more delays, no more silences. Here lay a brand new chapter waiting to be devoured. And so they did, each moment seasoned with the flavors of family love and the richness of shared stories, the most vital ingredients of all. Now take action. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive emotional stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. It really makes a difference.
Comment below your reactions and theories about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Don't wait even one more second to support the channel. You won't want to miss what's coming next.